I live with the love of my life, my husband, Lawrence, and my stepson.
Lawrence. Meet Lawrence, her husband. Of course she's gonna have a husband. And Lawrence, so far this season is probably the biggest enabler. But hey, ladies and gentlemen, we have just begun the episode. So please tuck in your seatbelts, put away your food because you're probably not gonna want to eat it anyway. Trust me when I tell you, because you're about to go through one hell of a roller coaster of emotions. But of course, for the people who don't know, I've already done the full reaction to the full episode on my Patreon account, where you can watch the episode with me without me having to pause it every God knows how many seconds. Of course, on YouTube, I can only show you clips due to copyright. But with that being said, though, let's get into exactly what went down with the clips that I have for you guys.
I crawl up the stairs because it hurts to go up and down. And so I tried not to depend on my family so much because
when girls said, I try not to depend on my family so much. I try not to depend on my family so much. I'll repeat myself one more time. I'll try not to depend on my family so much. But yet she's in a position where she is near death because of her weight. You know when someone's lying to you, but they make it sound as if they're not lying to you. Yeah.
sometimes they enable me a little too much.
And then sometimes they enable her a little bit too much. Ladies and gentlemen, am I here to sit here and believe that her family enable her a little bit too much? Or am I here to believe that maybe it's because she just enables herself? Well, that is the $1,000,000 question. Who enables her the most? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to find out.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
But I can't really judge because I am that enabler sometimes. One minute I'm like, no, you shouldn't. Then I'm like, here you go, what you wanted.
You know, I like someone that is honest about their behavior. Someone that is honest about their antics. I really appreciate that he's honest with the fact that, yes, he is an enabler. But to be honest with you, the more we, discover exactly how things turn out, the story here is quite interesting when it comes to who is the most powerful enabler in her life. And that is a point that we're going to get to. And trust me when I tell you, it's probably a very big common thing with a lot of people. But hey, we continue. Something that I can't fathom about this, right, is that her cooker, right, that you can see right here, is right next to the TV. It's crazy because obviously, her living arrangements aren't the best to the slightest. So much that her room looks like it's hoarding, do you know what I mean? Pretty much in a nutshell. But at the end of the day, as you can see, all the food has to be brought into the bedroom by the husband, so she can obviously then prepare it and make exactly what she wants. But it's just so crazy because the health and safety of her cooking next to a TV screen is bizarre to me. Does she want to die? I say that though, but clearly she does want to die because she's been eating herself to death for a very, very long time. Now, of course, there's always going to be a dark reason behind why she's been doing it. But despite the reason why she's been doing this, it's just one of those things you're looking at, you're thinking, it's one thing that you're not looking after your health, but the fact that you are cooking next to a TV screen, I'm still processing that. I am extremely still processing this. But ladies and gentlemen, at the same time, let's not forget what we see on our screens, the meal that she is making for her breakfast. It's crazy because this little plate right here is actually for her husband, but what she's making here is all going to be for her. So that is 4 sandwiches with eggs and tons of bacon, including whatever the hell this was. Goddamn. And I'm pretty sure she's cooked the whole rack of the 12-pack. I'm pretty sure it's a 12-pack in the UK. Usually you'd have 12 eggs in that as well. I mean, honestly, the way she demolished this is surreal. And then in here, I think that is the butter, margarine, or is it a book? I can't remember. But anyway, either way, though, what difference does it make? We continue.
After I got done with high school, I was 450 pounds.
450 pounds after she was done with high school. That is no joke. Now, here's the thing. The part that you haven't seen here is her little backstory. And her backstory, she talks about how she was in the foster system pretty much for the majority of her life. And not only was she in there, but she went through some experiences that no child should have to go through. And those experiences, sadly, involve sexual activities with obviously people that she did not want near her, and people that she did not want touching her. And it is quite sad and quite crazy how, you know, most of these stories, you know, some of them really do relate to the fact that there is some sort of child, what's the word I'm looking for here? There is behavior that happens to these children. There is unnecessary behavior that happens to these women, to be fair with you, when they were children, you know, and it's so sad. But also, it does happen to the men too, you know, and it is so sad. Because last week, the guy from last week, he also had the same experiences of, you know, someone in his family, you know, doing some unnecessary behavior towards him as well as a kid, which, you know, resulted in him also using that as a tool to become the way he is. But with her, it's a bit more complex. It's not necessarily the fact of just the fact that she was in foster care. It's not the fact that it was just because, you know, she was, you know, touched by people who shouldn't have been touching her, you know, in the wrong way. But it's also to the level of where later on in life, she then did try to reconnect with her mother. She actually found her mother. And the relationship with her and her mother just didn't last that long. Now, of course, she still is in contact with her mother now anyway, but, you know, it just didn't go out the way she planned. So there's been a lot of trust issues that's been built up over the years with her, which has definitely been a massive factor to her attitude, to why she uses food as a comfort, uses food as a distraction. She even goes as far as saying food is the only thing that can love me back. Which doesn't make any sense because food has no emotions. Food cannot love you back. You know what I mean? You can love food, but the food will never love you. You know what I'm saying? Because food, unless you're eating good food, if you're eating bad food will never love you back. That's just going to mess up your insides. You know what I mean? Your body feels the repercussions of bad food. So bad food never loves you. Good food, on the other hand, I'm not going to say that good food loves you back, but good food can give you good results back. You know what I mean? There's pros to that. But of course, despite whether you eat good or bad, there is still got to be that calorie deficit, so you're not overdoing it regardless. You know what I mean? But yeah, we continue.
I don't know if I'll get along with Dr. Now. I've heard a lot about him, and it sounds like he's a tough love type of guy. So
Here's the thing. Should it matter if any of the patients ever get on with Dr. Now? No. Because Dr. Now's job is not to become your friend, not to get along with you. His job is to give you all the tools that you need to better your life. And it's either you're ready to accept it or you're ready to not accept it. But your relationship with Dr. Now is irrelevant because his job is very simple, and that is to help people, no matter who they are, to better their lives. Case closed. The delusion.
I'm with you while I'm overweight. I wouldn't switch up on you because I lost some weight. The only thing that's going to switch up with me is my clothes will be cheaper. What do you think I'm...
You see, this is probably one of the biggest things that makes this guy a massive enabler. You know, he wants to keep his woman the way she is, so therefore she doesn't leave him. She stays around. No one should be in a relationship with anyone that does not want to see you become better. Just because they may... Listen, no one should be in a relationship with someone who's insecure, point blank, period. This guy's insecure about her losing weight, and therefore he's not supportive enough. It means he's only in it halfway through. He said that earlier on that the reason why he feeds is because he can't bother to argue with her. It's better to feed her rather than to argue with her. Nah, you're lying, bro. You're feeding her because you want her to stay the way she is, so therefore she's yours. You ain't got to worry about her losing weight and then finding someone else. Ah, man. Do better, ladies and gentlemen. Do better. So she weighs an astonishing 603 pounds. 603 pounds is exactly how much she weighs. Let's see exactly what Dr. Now had to say to her.
Yes, I have enablers. People that don't know how to tell me.
So who's your enabler?
Well, my husband is one of my biggest enablers.
So he...
The way she threw him under the bus like there was no tomorrow is madness. Ah, yeah, let me just blame him.
Doesn't want to argue with you that you eat. That's not being an enabler.
That's an enabler.
You're bullying him to feed you and you call that the enabler.
I do not bully him.
So what does he have to say about that?
Well, I can tell you this now. This guy does not speak. He didn't have anything to say anything. He just puts his head down in shame. Quite embarrassing, to be honest with you. But Dr. Now hit the nail on the head, though. You know, it is one thing for him to be an enabler, but it's also another thing for you to also boss him around. You know what I mean? I think obviously 100% he's an enabler, but at the same time, though, she is one of those people who still wouldn't take no for an answer anyway. Even if he was an enabler and he tried, she definitely would shut him down. So to be honest with you, she definitely uses him as a scapegoat. She uses the family as a scapegoat. Anyone that will happily feed her, she would say that they are enablers, but not actually process that she has a part to play in that role as well. And that is where the roadblock comes in, you know what I mean? But I think that it's one thing to be with someone that's an enabler, but it's also another thing if you are more than happy to allow that person to enable you. And if that person wasn't enabling you, you would actually bully them into enabling you. You see the difference? You see what I'm saying? So that is something that she definitely has to be aware of. But the good thing is that Dr. Now put that out there and said, boom, he's not the only guilty one in the situation. Hey, we continue. So, of course, this is her having a healthy vegetarian meal. But hey, her and Lawrence, it's been about a month since they've been to Dr. Now. They're on this journey eating better, okay? And they're also not only eating better, but they're also exercising as well. This next clip I'm going to show you, I'm not even taking the mick. I just got to show this because, damn. So, the exercise was simple, okay? Walk up the hill, walk down the hill. She walked up the hill, sat down, couldn't stand up, tried to crawl down the hill instead, and then ended up rolling down the hill. The reason why this has to be identified is because no one should be putting themselves in a position where you can't even stand up for one, you can't even go back down the hill for two, and three, you end up basically using your body as, well, what we saw here. I'm not gonna lie to you, when I first saw this, all I could think about was Shrek. Remember that, I don't know if it was Shrek 1, I don't know if it was 2 or 3, where you had the pigs rolling down the hill. And I remember the whole reference and the joke about it was pigs in a blanket. Honestly, that's what I thought, to be honest with you, at first, man. Not because of her size, not because I see her as a pig, no. It's just she's rolling down a hill and I'm just saying that if it's me and I'm in a position in my life where I'm overweight and I see this happen to someone else, I would be devastated to see this happen to someone else. And I'd be devastated if it ever happened to me, because maybe I went somewhere and I couldn't get back down. And the only way I can get back down is basically by rolling down. But let's not get it twisted though. This didn't happen on purpose. This is her trying to get down and literally slipping, and then boom, this was the collateral. Shambolic behavior. So it's been 2 months and she has lost a total of 12 pounds. 12 pounds. She was meant to lose 60 pounds, okay? I believe per each month. And she lost 4 pounds. That is 6 pounds per each month. But the whole time she sat there telling us that, hey, me and Lois have got our diet together. We've been exercising. We're going outside, playing a little bit of volleyball, walking up hills, and then accidentally falling down. And really talked the talk. And only came out with a loss of 12 pounds.
If you want her to live, you need to do everything you can to help her to make the changes you need to avoid temptation. But Syreeta, no matter what everybody else does, there is no excuse to eat chips and candy.
And that is the bottom line. There is no excuse to eat chips and candy. And of course, the husband definitely needs to step up his role in helping her, you know? Because at the end of the day, I guess, even though the journey is her journey alone, it's still a married couple. And when you're married and you're with someone, some journeys are for both of you, you know? And I think in this situation here, it's not even just a matter of where the journey is just for both of them. It's a journey of where it's important to build. Look, the more he supports and the more he tries to do better, it can only make their relationship stronger. If their relationship was to crumble, well, then that would show how much she loved the food more than she loved him. Because you know what they say, right? When you love someone so much, you would do anything to try and keep them to a respectful level, right? And at the end of the day, you know, him trying to do something for her would be great, you know? But he's being a baby right now. But hey, she needs to stop the snacking and the foods. And so Dr. Now has actually given an opportunity to go off and lose some more weight. Let's find out how that journey went. The good news is that she did lose a significant amount of weight this time. But the only thing is, well,
Your weight is 544.
she only lost 47. Now, she was meant to lose 60. 47 is definitely a big improvement than the first time, because the first time she only lost 12 pounds. So obviously she's gone away and she's obviously lost a bit more, which is good. But like I said before, that 47 just isn't going to cut it, because she's still not reaching the requirements that are needed. And if you can't reach the requirements needed because you're still slipping every now and then, well, then that just tells me that you're simply not ready for surgery. Basic thing, the doctor now goes up and says to her, listen, if you can lose another 20 pounds, I will then give you surgery. I sat there and I said to myself, why though? Because she lost 12 pounds the first time, then 47 that time. She hasn't proven that she's got the resilience or the consistency to actually want to go the full mile. So even her losing the extra 20, what difference is it going to make? That really baffled me. But hey, let's see what happens on the next weigh-in. So as you see, instead of her losing an extra 20 pounds for her to be able to get the surgery, she ends up gaining 9 pounds instead. Literally, I told you, put on your seatbelts. This is one hell of a roller coaster. So at this moment in time here, Dr. Now then does what I thought he should have done the first time. He then now actually suggests that she goes and sees a therapist. So therefore, she can find out what is the root of the problem and help her actually get to her goal. But not only do that, but also he also needs her to move to Houston as well, because that's where she needs to be. And so therefore, she can do certain things that obviously she can't with her being too far away. Now, originally she was actually meant to move to Houston anyway, but then she couldn't because something fell through with the housing. But this time she does actually manage to end up moving to Houston. The difference is now is that Dr. Now does give her another chance to lose some more weight, which really surprised me. But again, like I said before, because this time he's given her a therapist, it's like, okay, maybe there's a bright future. So right now, she goes off and sees a therapist, and then she comes back for another weigh-in. Well, let's find out how that went.
Today I wrote a letter to my mom. I'm writing this letter to her because I feel like it plays a big part in my stress and my eat a lot and my.
So, after all the therapy sessions and whatnot, she has decided to reach out to her mum, you know what I mean? Obviously, she really wants that relationship to be better, And also just to voice everything that she went through, because her mum obviously, gave her up as a child. And then obviously she went through adoption, and, the whole thing was just a complete mess. But it's good to see that she's taking that initiative, you know what I mean, to obviously go forward, because it means that she's now at a stage where she may actually be looking to take her weight loss journey more seriously, because one of her biggest roadblocks was trusting people. And because of that lack of trust and insecurities, it's what always resulted to her enabling herself in the end. We continue.
So I need to be down to 512 today, and I really hope I did that.
Well, she is 12 pounds off. 12 pounds off what she was supposed to weigh. She was obviously said supposed to weigh 512, instead it's 524. So even though she did lose weight since the last time, again, it went in a situation where she just couldn't lose enough. And to be honest with you, to round it up, well,
2 months, and if in 2 months you keep losing weight like you have been, then we're going to do weight loss surgery, okay?
All right, cool. So Dr. Now, for some bizarre reason, which I was very surprised with, has given her even more months. She's gonna have 2 more months to lose more weight to get to where she needs to get to. But as you can see here, when it came to her journey, after a year, she ended up only losing 18 pounds within the extra 2 months. So it took her 1 whole year to lose 97 pounds. Only 97 pounds in the space of the whole year. Now, in this episode, she does not end up getting surgery, but nor does she actually end up going back to Dr. Now again anyway. Not because she didn't, it's just that that's how the episode ended. It literally ended with them telling us how much she lost, and then her saying that she's going to continue on the journey of trying to do better, trying to get the weight, trying to lose the weight, and also finally getting that weight loss surgery. But again, the fact that it ended with her not actually getting the surgery means obviously she failed miserably. And the fact that she only lost 97 pounds in the space of a year when she was meant to be losing 60 pounds per each month is just shambolic. But the problem that I had with this young lady is that she was very delusional. She felt like even if she lost 2, 3, 4, 5 pounds, Dr. Now should have given her the benefit of the doubt. So even when she didn't reach the weight goal, she was like, yeah, but you can still see the progress. But then even when she did gain weight, she was like, but I should still be given credit for the weight that I've lost previously. And this is the problem with her mentality. It needs to change. It needs to be better. Whether that's going to happen or not, I guess we won't know until maybe My 600 Pound Life, where are they now? But that is obviously ages from now. But to be honest with you, you know, her biggest issue is that not only does she enable herself, but she enables other people to enable her. And also on top of that, she has people around her who are more than happy to oblige and enable her, especially her husband, who basically wants her to stay being obese because he's too afraid that she'll leave him if she lost weight. It is quite tragic. But hey, with that being said, you guys let me know what you're thinking down below. Like I said before, the full reaction is on Patreon, okay? Without me having to do the little clips, it's literally the full episode, full shebang. Link is down below in the description. Please do subscribe if you're new to the channel. We are done, and we are out. That was the wrong one. Peace.